All right, it's another day to thrift. We're definitely into fall now. So I'm interested in sweaters, I'm interested in jackets. I'm really gonna try to stick to my color palette that I've developed for myself. So I'm gonna be very picky. I did also just order one thing on ThreadUp, so I don't wanna like go crazy. I'm really just looking for something a little unique or something that I know I will wear. It's a warm fall day, so I'm not super bundled up, but I am wearing my denim jacket pretty much all the way buttoned up. I have my white barrel jeans and then my big sling bag so I can carry a book so I can read that on the bus. Now, let's go. I started looking out in the sweaters. I have my eye on like a normal cardigan. I'm always looking for a cardigan. I feel like that works really well for my style and also just practically. But how I look for sweaters really is if I'm not going to go through every single one, I just try to pick out the colors that I'm interested in, or if I see a material that seems interesting. Like I really loved this color, so I picked this one up, and it was a Pringles sweater, which I really like that brand, so I wanted to try that on. And then, for example, this sweater, I liked the color, but then once I actually looked at the material, I was like, oh no, this is going to be not what I'm looking for. It looks pretty synthetic and itchy. They had a couple decent sweaters at this store. And I also look in the long sleeve tops because sometimes they have sweaters there. They had this Ralph Lauren linen top. The color wasn't for me, so I didn't bother trying it on. They had so many silky Zara shirts. They're just polyester, like satin shirts. It's not what I was looking for. I also try to find like interesting tags on shirts. Like this one said 100% cotton. I was interested in it, but when I looked more at the style of it, it didn't look like it would fit me the way I wanted him to. But yeah, this one just had so many Zara shirts that were that silky material. I saw this linen shirt, which was actually pretty similar to the Ralph Lauren one. But the lighter color I thought I could pull off in the fall. And I was just interested by the silhouette a little bit more, so I wanted to give that one a try. I'm also looking for a denim shirt. I have a specific kind of color in mind and like it to match my existing jeans that I have. So far, I haven't found what I'm looking for. There's a lot of... I want it to be like very mid-weight and a very classic style. And a lot of them have some kind of stylistic difference, or they're not the right color, so I'm just gonna wait until I find a perfect one. This was an interesting sweater. I thought the texture was really cool, but it was gonna be too big for me. And then this gem, a J. Crew wool sweater, yes, had to try that one on, and it was actually a decent price. Again, just not a ton of nice material sweaters. So many like polyester and acrylic options. Lots of Amazon sweaters, unfortunately. I saw this Everlane sweater, which was tragic because someone obviously shrunk it, and that would have been such a nice option. This style would have been exactly what I was looking for, but again, I think it's like another Amazon sweater. It's obviously like a polyester or acrylic. Did not feel very nice at all. Then I went to purses. I am looking for an everyday purse. I saw this beaded one, which I thought was just gorgeous, but again, I find a lot of like beautiful like one-off purse pieces, so like more of a statement purse, but it's hard for me to find exactly what I'm looking for, like for an everyday carry purse, because I want it to be leather, I want it to be lightweight, but I want it to have like a medium capacity. I would love if I could fit a water bottle in my bag, but I also don't want it to be a huge tote. Unfortunately, just not a ton of options at this store. I generally with purses just try to find something that has a shape that's interesting or a color that I'm looking for. But the majority of these were like really cheap pleather options, and it's just sad to see because a lot of these look brand new, but they just feel horrible. So it just feels like they're such a waste. I did like this kind of metallic bag. I like this style, but this one wasn't vintage. It was definitely a new one. Next, I looked at the shoes. I almost never find shoes at the thrift store, and honestly, I probably just shouldn't anyway, even look. But I did find a couple of Vionic shoes, which that's a brand that makes, you know, in general, comfortable shoes. So I saw these brand ones, so I thought I might as well try them on. They had these very interesting loafers by the brand Paul Smith, which is not something I was familiar with, but they looked really nice. After I got home, I did look this brand up, and it's a British brand. Shoes generally run like $250 into the $600 range, so could be a nice find for someone else. Vionic shoes were not a good fit, unfortunately, so I headed to their kind of larger coats, and I'm just a sucker for a wool overcoat. A lot of these were men's sizes, so they looked like they were going to be too big for me, but I couldn't help myself. I did want to try this one on, even though I'm not looking for a coat. It was just really beautiful. And then they had this London Fog, which unfortunately the lining was zipped out of it, and it was a men's coat, so it was a 42, which I know is too big for me. So I didn't bother trying that one on. So this is a cashmere jumper that I found, and I don't know. Something about the shape of it, I think it's that like Henley detail at the top, the collar, was not sitting right on my body, in my opinion. I didn't think it was very flattering, although I did love the color, and I loved that it was cashmere. It felt really nice. So that one was a no, unfortunately, but I hope someone else found that and really, really liked it. It was a beautiful piece. It just, you know, it didn't look very nice on me. And then I should have noticed the size on this Pringle. It was going to be way too small. I was a size 34, and I would never wear a 34, but I had to try it on because it was so cute. And I really wish it had worked for me. I wish it had been my size. The little tie at the front was interesting. I just tied it up and then I put it back down. I'm just heartbroken. I keep finding these kind of green, beautiful cardigans that are just too small for me, and I just want to finally find one in my size because I love them, and this color I really, really, really love. This Pringle sweater was 100% wool and it was only $19, which I think is very fair for finding that at the thrift store. I also picked up this cotton silk shirt. It was a Ralph Lauren shirt. I like the color. I love a shirt like this, but I think it was one of those shirts that are made to tie at the front, which is not something I would ever really do. The material was what made me want to try it on. It was so light and gauzy. This linen shirt, I just liked all the buttons, okay? I liked that little style. I thought it was very cute. It obviously is not for my body type, but I thought it was very nice and fun. The purple sweater, the J. Crew purple sweater, I just wish it was like 2 sizes bigger. And I wish the color was like a little bit more vibrant. I think it's just a touch dull for my skin tone. But it was a really nice option for someone and actually really nicely priced. I saw this wrap sweater too, and it felt like mohair. I couldn't find a tag of materials, but it was very soft and, you know, very fluffy and lightweight. If this had just been like, I don't know, maybe I needed it to be bigger or just like a different style, I might have picked this up, but I think it was also a little too yellow for my skin tone. Looking back, I actually think this coat is a total slay. I know it's like too big for me, but I think I could have maybe pulled that off. I didn't need a coat, so I didn't even really entertain this, but I felt so cool in this coat. It felt really nice to wear. I love a nice weighty coat, especially when it's cold. And then I just started dancing, so just ignore that. I was being a little weird. I was just feeling that coat, you know? If this had been one size smaller, I might have just picked it up because it's so nice. Obviously, I really enjoyed it. The next thrift store, I saw this Farm Rio dress, which I've been really intrigued by this brand, so I was happy to have the opportunity to try on a piece. This was a size large. Then there were 2 other like Ganni dresses, and I've never really tried on Ganni stuff, so I wanted to just try that on since it was here. This thrift store has a pretty decent selection of like designer pieces like flowing through it, which is very fun and nice because then I can learn some new designers or try on pieces from designers that, you know, I likely would not come across without going to the store. I ended up trying on these velvet pants, but they did have some damage in the front, and also they just weren't the fit I was wanting. This was a silk camisole that I saw, and I really loved the color. I love the lace detail. I think that's really nice. I think it looked really weird with my bra though. Like, something about the bust line wasn't working. The Farm Rio dress was too big, so that tells me I'm probably not a size large in them. I'm probably going to need a medium if I want to ever try them again. Also, I'm just like not a short dress person, so that wasn't going to fly. The Gunny dress and this pink one I thought was kind of fun. I think it looked really unflattering on my body shape. Yeah, did not highlight what I like to highlight, but I liked the colors. And then this was the other Ghani dress, and I was like, what is going on with this dress? I don't think I had it on backwards, but it had a zipper down the front. It also is too small. I didn't realize the size was like way, like 2 sizes lower than what I would normally wear. But I don't know. I love a maxi dress, so I tried it on, but I felt like I was wearing like alien clothes. I tried that silk top on again without a bra, and I thought it looked a lot better. I also loosened the straps so it would hang a little bit lower. Okay, so it's actually been a few days. I did end up getting one thing while I was up on that thrift trip, but I just wanted to shout out those really beautiful kind of teal sweaters that I found. One was a Pringle, and then the other, I don't remember the brand, but it was a really nice cashmere, and both were definitely something that I wish worked, but neither looked good on me. First of all, the Pringle of Scotland one was just way too small, so. But I did want to try it on just because I have another piece by that brand and I've really liked it, so. I was surprised by how many nicer material sweaters and things that I saw out there, because that's getting rarer and rarer. I feel like the thrift stores are really consumed by the fast fashion pieces right now, so. That I think was very fun. That long coat I tried on, I really liked too. It was way too big, but I just love a long, heavy wool coat. I think that's so nice. So I got one thing while I was out thrifting, and it was this silk top. This was $5. Now that I'm looking at it, I have already washed this piece. It does have stains. How did I not notice this? Yeah, there's definitely stains all over it. Huh. Interesting. At any rate, I have already worn this multiple times, and I figured too, like if I don't want to wear it out and about, I can just wear it to sleep, which I have worn it to sleep a few times already. It's that really nice, like soft silk that's kind of like, it almost feels like a suede silk. I'm not quite sure how to describe that material, but it's really nice. I love the lace details. I've been really into like lacy tops, and I just don't have a lot. So yeah, I decided to go ahead and just buy this piece. The brand is Allison Taylor, and it's an extra large. And in the try-on, I was wearing like a cotton bralette, and I hated the way it looked on this. And what I found was that I just need to really extend these straps so that it actually hits where my bust is instead of being like above my bust. And without a bra, it looked a lot better. So that's how I would probably wear it. I did also get a dress from ThreadUp that came, and I already washed it, and I'm pretty excited about it, so I thought I'd just share it here too. It is a long maxi or midi, I guess, depending how tall you are, merino wool dress. It's Polo by Ralph Lauren, and it's just a nice sweater dress. And it is merino wool, but it is a very soft merino wool. Sometimes it can be like a little bit itchy, but this one is not. It feels like the most delicious soft blanket, and it flares out at the bottom, and you know, it has buttons all the way down. It has a nice little collar. I love this dress. I think it was about $50 when I bought it on ThreadUp, which is more than I'm used to spending on one piece, but I'm getting more used to it because I am finding better pieces at that price range, from like better brands, better materials. So I'm just trying to get more used to spending a little more on my clothes and just buying less of them. But I'm very excited to wear this. I've been wearing my other knit dress like for weeks on end. Pretty much all of September, that's what I was wearing almost every single day. This I feel like is very similar, very much the same kind of comfort level, and I think works in the same way. Like as a day dress, I can wear it in so many different ways. This one I think is even more practical because I feel like I can button it up a little more and wear it in a more conservative space like work or something like that. But I can also unbutton it and style it in fun ways. So I'm excited about that. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I make videos every week about fashion, style, thrifting, all that good stuff. So if you're into that, try sticking around. Hope you all have a fabulous day, and I'll see you next week with another video. Tschüss!